That sounds terrible.
We're in a danger spot.
Over the last 2 years, I've shared a half dozen videos about my precarious motorcycle and mountain bike adventure abominations. Strapping well over 100 pounds of gear to a fancy adventure motorcycle is a direct insult to the engineers who made said motorcycle as lightweight as possible. Similarly, it's a direct insult to the engineers who made our lightweight bicycles only strong enough to survive riding, and not being smashed into the forest upon a 450-pound anchor. Yes, these trips are a compromise on two fronts, but for what they lack in purist pedigree, they more than make up for with a double serving of riddle solving. The land of snow-capped mountains, bright blue ocean water, crystal clear lakes, and flocks of tourists freshly arrived from nearby SeaTac is certainly a different world from our hometown of Bellingham. Only 45 miles away, the peninsula requires hours and hours of interstate or a beautiful ferry ride to visit.
Breaking news, Washington State Ferries has confirmed run aground on Bainbridge Island.
Evan had a smile on his face all day.
He did.
It's a tour.
For the first time on one of these trips, I invited a couple of friends to come along. Evan is Mr. Modern Day Motorcycle Explorer guy with all the fancy gear and a sweet YouTube channel chronicling these adventures. And Rusty is a marine specialist with a penchant for rusty BMWs, sometimes in disrepairs, and perhaps his own personal namesake. More importantly, Rusty has a hankering for riding efficient bicycles quickly up massive hills.
The moment you leave your house on the motorcycle is the moment you detach.
Despite a few mishaps, our crew was optimistic we could either solve any problems or at the very least talk our way out of them.
Did you guys look?
No. Waking up in the morning and knowing that I've got a trip planned, there's an energy level there that is unmatched.
It's not an adventure unless something goes wrong, right? We've had a couple of issues today.
Well, he had a sprocket, but he didn't have any teeth on said sprocket.
I had part of a sprocket.
How's it going? I'm just doing a little shakedown ride, so yeah.
I heard a motorcycle ride by while
Yeah.
this thing out. And look at this. You got quite the costume on. Holy cow. You've got spare water.
It's too much, but yeah. So it's hitting my backpack. It's annoying.
You've got all the gear. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow. I remember when you first brought your F650, I think it's called, to my house. Good morning. Good morning.
Janky Frankenbike and your two awesome KTMs.
I have more confidence in this than in the KTMs. I remember looking at it and noticing that your sprocket was extremely worn. Can't believe that chain doesn't fall off without a chain guide.
Oh, actually, I knew the drivetrain was pretty worn.
Less is more?
Less is more.
Can you check my chain tension?
When you're sitting on it?
Yeah.
It's tight.
Tight.
It's very tight when you're sitting on it.
I should probably loosen that.
Maybe a scotch.
Back to the shop.
I had been running the chain really slack, so it probably wouldn't have been a problem. But I had lost my chain tensioner, made a new one, put it on my bike the other night before I had to leave, and just turned a couple of turns on the chain tensioner to be like, all right, cool, it's in there. Tick the box. That task is done. We kind of loosened it up a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, it's fine. And I couldn't really see it, and you guys were like, yeah, maybe, you'll be all right, maybe.
Cool, guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Ride safe.
And the whole time in my head, I'm like, this is really stupid. I should probably be checking on this more. And I proceeded to ride super fast because I was late for the ferry. And
all right, let's ride down and catch Evan. I got bike on bike all set up. Let's boogie out and have some adventures.
Each of us is in a different phase of our motorcycling journey.
All right, here's Jeff. Woohoo! Oh yeah.
Evan is perhaps the most ripe with a good 40 years of riding experience.
I think I'm ready to go. Sorry I'm a minute late.
All right.
How are you?
How's it going?
Good.
Woohoo! It was a nice wheelie.
I didn't crash. That's the goal. Yeah.
All right, you
I
ready?
wanted to make sure nothing would fall off.
Rusty has done many tours around the country and the Baja Peninsula, but doesn't really have much off-road experience. And I rarely ride my adventure bike without a bicycle on back, which is a long way of saying I'm just a kook on a motorcycle.
That Bellingham sign, I was thinking I would ride by, next to you, the thing, and then you pulled over to the side, and I was like, oh, I don't even think I got the sign, because I was, for some reason, that sign is just the touchstone. If I'm going south, I'll go down Chuckanet, especially if I'm headed to, you know, desert or something like that, and I know it's the last time I'm going to see the ocean. And it's nice to just kind of like cruise down there, take it mellow, and I'm glad we had the time to head down Chuckanet.
We didn't really have the time, but we did. And it turned out we had the time.
We had plenty of time. We had 13 extra minutes, right?
Yeah.
The moment you leave your house on the motorcycle is the moment you like detach from the world. And you're like, all right, nothing else matters anymore. And it's funny because I was working today, and so I was doing a bunch of stuff and I was busy. And I pulled into that grocery store, ordered myself a sandwich, and I sat down, and I was still stressing from the workday. And then you guys kind of rolled up and you parked your motorcycles along the row, and I'm like, oh, cool, we're on a motorcycle trip. This is rad. And so I think that's the moment my motorcycle trip started.
That's a bit of a coincidence, seeing another bike rack.
Hey, weird. What are you guys doing here?
And I pull into the ferry, and I hear.
Oh, it was audible.
Like, oh, wow, that sounds terrible.
Hey kids, this is what happens when you neglect to properly tension your chain.
20% of the teeth left on that sprocket, and they're gone, like gone.
I have a ton of water in my hydration pack, and that's good and all. But I found that an electrolyte supplement in my water bottle is almost as effective as darn near an entire hydration pack, especially when it's super humid, like what we deal with here in the Northwest. I've been lucky enough to partner with the fine folk over at Element, LMNT, who make a really simple electrolyte supplement. This stuff is just magnesium, potassium, sodium, and a tiny bit of stevia. I've been adding one of these to my water bottle for the bigger mountain bike rides and quite enjoying it. I can notice I just lose a little bit of mental clarity as I start getting dehydrated. I don't make the best decisions, which is a bad habit if you're on two wheels. So that electrolyte has really helped me out quite a bit. I found that one water bottle with one of those electrolyte supplements added to it is almost as effective as nearly an entire hydration pack. So this is a much smaller thing to bring with you on your bicycle. When you're doing motorcycle-bicycle combo trips, size is very important. For a limited time now, Element's offering a free sample pack to anyone who uses the link in the description below to make a purchase from the Element website. That link is drinkelement.com/Jeff, Jeff. This is the raspberry salt flavor. It's really good. I think you guys might like it too. Speaking of that, I've read a bunch of your comments in all the videos, and you guys have been trying this and you've been quite enjoying it. So thanks to all of you for letting me know. Stay salty, everyone.
Have a great day.
And it was all fine, and I think what I learned is that if you really gently shift the gears, the chain stays on the sprocket if you only have 20% of the teeth left.
So that's the secret.
Yeah, so that's
Just gently shift the gears.
it's really gently shift the gears.
I have some luggage for you.
Awesome. Oh, yes. Look at that. Hey, that's not even in terrible condition.
It's in great shape.
Yeah. How are you looking over here? Well, I might have put them on, the bolts on backwards.
Oh, no.
I had to take a guess.
Yeah.
I feel pretty strongly that like when things go to plan, you don't get a story. It is when things don't go the way that you anticipated, the way you thought, the way you planned, that's when you get the story. All those things that happened, whether it's, you know, the just chundery rock road that was built today, that was hell.
Yeah.
And those are, to me, that's the winning, because that's the story.
Yeah.
Epically dusty and sketchy in the corners.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was all the winning. I guess on one level, I wish I had been a little more confident to just like keep going. We got to that spot and stopped. If I have a chance to stop and scout it, then I tend to be more tentative than if
then if you just get dragged into it?
Just go. Keep moving. Keep moving.
As the idea man behind this trip, I saw what looked like a great way to sneak into a campsite that would be right alongside some excellent mountain bike trails.
So it looks like this might connect to the backside access road. How do you feel about going up that on your Beamer?
I don't know.
But I was also very aware that my New York dirt bike and somewhat disposable mountain bike weren't exactly what the rest of the crew was juggling.
You all right?
But I might need some help.
Beans, beans, beans! Did you pop out of gear?
No,
You were doing it great, and then you stopped.
no, the front end's coming up.
You know, and Evan is shredding this. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! How did that feel?
As soon as it starts getting a little funky, it's like, oh.
Well, like, I don't know if it's because the bike is so far back, but I had no steerage on my front.
Yeah, no, I was watching that as you came up. It's like,
Was my front
man,
wheel
just
off the
seemed to
ground?
just- yeah,
Yeah, see,
Only a little though.
felt like it was just kind of tapping.
Yes.
If it gets no gnarlier than this and this, it could be fun. If
Let's walk up
maybe
a
we
little
go back down and go in the way that truck is coming out. So.
big wheelers come through here.
I don't think we're gonna make it up there. There's a little rock ledge.
It gets worse before it gets better.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I made it up the rock ledge. I'm like, oh, that was kind of gnarly. Tried to turn around, that got sketchy. I was like, this is gonna be a lot for all the bikes.
I think, I don't mean to be the baby here, but let's
No,
not
you're
make it
fine.
any harder than we need to be.
That's fine. Let's check out the other entrance or
Yeah.
the other trails. I actually took the other side coming up. That's how it goes today.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it
I
works
think-
out.
I think unloaded, I wouldn't have hesitated to
Sure.
give it a try.
Yeah, same. Honestly, I was most worried about damaging my mountain bike
Oh yeah.
because I love my mountain bike. And
Well, we both, as you were riding up,
Your bike popped off.
we both were going like, this is my mountain bike. I have one mountain bike. I don't want to damage it on, doing something like, there were plenty of opportunities on that road going up to lay it into a side, into a bank.
Oh, they'll be fine. They're mountain bikes. They're not road bikes. They can handle a tumble. I fell over twice today, and I think it's still good. I don't know.
Gouging down below the bottom.
Being aware of your context is important. This provides a reality check that leads to gratitude. I really appreciate being in the position I am to make bike videos. It's also a little ironic that what for most people is a prized possession, and sure it is for me too, I have to risk destroying completely in order to ensure I can kind of sort of keep it. But there's more to life that we also need to consider in a near similar light.
And I was thinking to myself, like how lucky we are to live in a country where we have all access to all these resources that we need. So like you can be kind of like adrift at sea, and when you're on a motorcycle ride, you're kind of adrift at sea, or you got to treat it like that. I need to carry my tools, I need to carry my spares, I need to carry my food and all this kind of stuff. But in reality, you can just drive into town and grab some Starbucks if you want, or you can go to the bathroom, or you can wash the, like inches of gross, grimy mud off your hands. And I think we're really lucky to be able to have access to all those resources.
I felt like such a goon because we just motoed right past trails we could have. I mean, we didn't know that we could moto up those as we were going by. We were feeling kind of tail between our legs as we had just turned down from the other trail. Having come down them on the bicycle and seeing how mellow they are, we now know we could totally ride most of those. I wonder if they frown upon people coming up here to make breakfast work. I think this is the viewpoint.
I feel like those trails were designed for big adventure bikes. There's no baby
100%,
heads.
yeah.
There's no rock ledges. The whole thing was like, a picture perfect 6 feet wide. Like,
50 inches wide.
50,
Let's not exaggerate,
50
okay? That's what the sign said, 50 inches or less.
50 inches or less.
Yeah, forest trails.
And it was cool to be in like a freshly cut timber zone and have to carry your bike through it.
So
That was
cool.
I mean, that's an experience that I never thought I would have, and now I have it.
And there was one jump,
That's a really
too.
special experience.
Yeah, that was fun because I heard you.
I got the
I was
one
like-
jump. I'm like,
I
sweet.
was like, And I came around the corner. I was like, Oh, that's why he was hooting.
There's one jump on the whole hill. I got it.
I was so bummed because Jeff, you know, you can boost it, right? So you kind of cruise around and I saw you boost it. And right as I was watching you boost it, I was washing out in the corner and losing all of my speed. And I'm like, no.
Evan, you had yesterday, our mountain bike ride, you felt a tinge in your hamstring.
Yeah.
How is that feeling today?
I would call it a twinge.
A twinge with a W.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah. Slid out because I'm not super confident on that dry, loose.
To be fair, we both nearly did the exact same thing.
You literally both just almost did. You all right?
Yeah, no, I'm 100%. It's kind of silly. I started to slide and I put my left foot out and like tweaked my hamstring a little bit. And then I was like, oh. And then I was tentative the whole way down.
Yeah. You had a big smile on your face when you landed.
Evan had a smile on his face all day.
He did.
Went all the way to the end and back. So I got my usual rice pilaf with spinach and some sausage. Nothing too fancy. Yeah, grab a receptacle, dig on in. Oatmeal and residue from all the stuff.
And we live here.
We do, yeah.
I mean, that's the thing that blows me away.
Woke up in our own beds
You know,
this morning.
Yeah.
This is actually emotional for me. I'm close to tears as I think about it because like we woke up and we rode through such amazing beauty
Oh yeah.
on the way down to the ferry, and then we get on the ferry and come across and the views of the Olympics and Hurricane Ridge and all of that.
How'd you like the ride today, Rusty?
The bike or the moto?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be any less than 2 hours.
Okay, well, I'll be back in a couple hours then. Yeah, so I'm still a little gimpy, so I decided not to go for the mountain bike ride you guys went on this morning, which
2 hours. Hello, Rusty. Let's go try mountain biking.
I'm bummed about because that sounded like a lot of fun.
2,900 feet of climbing and 8 miles.
Well, not that part, but
Round trip.
Oh yeah. Watch out for that stump right there. That section is absolutely very too much speed on.
The pure feeling of flying through the forest on 2 wheels on a bicycle powered by only your 2 legs really can't be beat, in my opinion. The motorcycle is neat because it brings you to some really cool places, and here and there it's fun to ride, but at the end of the day, I really do love riding the mountain bike the most out of anything.
Say perhaps to drugs. Yes! That is such a good double right there. Oh, it's not too, it's a little hectic.
The bike was cool. The top section was like, it was pushing my ability level. So I hopped down a couple of sections there, mainly out of like, you know, self-preservation.
Yeah, that super blind roller.
Did you hit that?
Yeah, I didn't jump it or anything, I just rode it.
But it was all really like steep little rocky chutes with sketchy runouts and like, you know, it'd be like the hard part. Watching Jeff ride doesn't count because he's like, oh, I'll just like jump the whole thing, whatever. But I'm like, you know, when I'm like, oh, okay, well here's like the challenging part of the trail.
right.
Oh, is this a line? I think this was.
And immediately following that
Oh,
is
yeah.
like, you know, 9 options. None
It's
of
a
which is
rock
good.
roll, and I don't even do rock rolls.
Line, maybe, or you know, you're going careening down a hill like this one that's behind us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
If we'd gone up for a second lap, I probably could have ridden most of that.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Pretty good there. Oh man, this trail is so fun. Whoa,
Cheating.
that trail's pretty intense.
Dude. Yeah, I rode most of that except
Heck
for the
yeah.
high consequence shit.
Sure. Well, like I'm stoked. It's so different than Galbraith.
Oh,
We ride
yeah,
all the
totally.
time. And it's not like you're down the hill in 1 minute, just burning your brakes.
Right. I'm not good at it, but I kind of like the technical riding.
Yeah, if you crash, you're not going very fast. So.
Right.
I was stoked out at the bottom. There's a bunch of like random slalom course style berms, like nice and tight, linking up, and then boom, like just the diversity of terrain between where we start at the top and it's steep and rocky, and then it gets flowy, steep and rocky, and then it gets jumpy, and then there's a bunch of loamy, bermy turns, and then you're on a complete beginner trail for 15 minutes.
The midsection was awesome. It was like lower angle, and like you said, it was like flowy but rocky, almost like North Shore style, where they've kind of laid in the rocks a little bit. And you know, it was deceiving because that trail was so sketchy for the most part.
Yeah.
That I'm coming around every corner, I'm like, well, I'm not gonna smash it into this corner because what's next is probably gonna suck. But you know, like, but you'd come around the corner, you're like, oh, that was all right, you know, that's fine. You can just send it.
Yeah.
Slalom track at the end. What?
That was sweet.
Yeah. I got like a 45-second manual on this trail on that pivot last year. Evan's All's End. Here we come, all hot and heavy. Hello. There you go.
How was it?
Awesome.
Oh.
I didn't want to say it, but
No, you should.
I'll get right to the point. It was awesome.
Oh,
That was great.
Yeah.
Good.
Gonna make a quick watermelon salt flavored electrolyte deal. I've learned the easy way is to pour this into the full bottle. It doesn't get foamy that way. There we go.
Kind of like an espresso.
Really?
Yeah, I just put in, I don't know, extra 120 miles of just scouting around, looking around, finding beautiful places to see and ride. I went to the town of Joyce, and then there's a lovely little back road that connects over to
That
Lake
road was
Crescent.
cool. It was like a one-laner with no center line,
Yep.
no traffic, good visibility. It
Yeah.
was spectacular.
Amazing pavement too.
Yeah.
So
it
smooth.
It was nice the whole way. So yeah, I rode that out and then down the lake and back and
That was great.
That was cool, huh?
That is fucking awesome.
Coming up here, I thought we were going to get to that really cool saddle where you cut through the dynamited the road out, and then where you got to the view where you can see the coast and you can see the ocean. And we did not get there. No, but we got to that intersection and we're trying to figure out if we should go left or right. And right was way more heavily trafficked. And I think if we had gone right, we might have gone somewhere that the map was not saying we go. The map said we go to the Thumb.
You know, it's
Which is,
tricky
like,
because-
right above us.
Because look,
Yeah, we had multiple options for loops today, and we didn't do any loops on the motorcycles. We're kind of out.
we did a loop.
We did do a loop.
technically.
That's true, sort of.
I mean,
We could have.
We ended up at the end of the beginning.
Yes. That was a trip. And then, so we all took that little break up there, or whatever, after the beginning, beautiful Forest Service road. And then we start dropping down, and we're following Evan. And then all of a sudden, we got to those water bars. How fun are those water bars, Rusty?
You guys seem to be handling it fine, but my bike was like not. Well, I was trying to preserve the bike on the back, and every time you kind of flop through them,
Yeah.
pretty hard, and it's the flop. It's not like hard. You could probably smash those at full speed.
The
and
flop
be better.
loosens so much on your machine, though.
But the flop means that like anything that's not perfectly connected to everything else is gonna fall off.
This has been here a while.
I was stoked seeing Evan leading us down that sketchy road, getting to the snow and just not even thinking twice, but just like, oh, look, we can go around the snow.
there was one spot where the branches on the left forced me into the snow, and I just did a dab in the snow and it was fine. I didn't feel like it was ever in doubt.
So was your GoPro going when we got to the cliff edge ride, right along the cliff edge to the washout bit?
It may have been, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
I
if
hope
mine
it
was going
was.
or not.
Did you guys look?
No. I kind of glanced a little, like, don't look,
Yeah.
just go.
that was one of those where it was like, nope, there's one place to look, and it's where I want to go.
Yes, exactly.
It wasn't too fraught with peril, but
No, it was safe for what it is. It was
No.
totally safe.
But the consequences were significant.
Yes, and we've had more of that up above us here too. So we got to an impasse and we could get across it, but it's gonna require a little rock stacking, a little gardening, and it's a little treacherous. So we thought we'd fly the drone in the air and see if we can remove all the adventure with technology. Be worth it to hump all the way up there if we're getting to our intersection with the road that goes all the way down to the coast. I'm stoked that we threw the drone up to find out that there was that much snow past that rocky bit. We could have gotten to the rocky bit, but
we would have gotten skunked, what, about a mile up the road?
yeah. And it feels like we did something smart by flying the drone. Got some cilantro headed in there, we got some spinach. We have the full fancy making peanut sauce mix, a taste of Thai with coconut milk. Dude, who brings coconut milk motorcycle camping? Hopefully this is edible. I've never used coconut milk before.
This is called Ghetto in the Meadow.
Ghetto in the meadow. I like it.
So for me, most of my traveling is done solo. Like meeting up in the morning, meeting at the grocery store, like those logistical kind of things. For me, it's like, okay, it's something new. Let's do
Totally.
it. And it was fun. Just having the 3 bikes lined up right there in front of the store. And like, how many people came up and talked to us?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you guys for coming out and sending this trip into the middle of nowhere and dealing with my crazy ideas about places we can go, and sometimes they don't go anywhere. But if you guys like this video, please do hit the subscribe button. That'll help me out, keep making stuff like this happen. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Have you done a trip like this with a couple buddies? If so, how'd it go? Where'd you go? Tell me the details.
You know what though? You gotta find the dead end sometimes in order to know it's there.
Yeah. And if you don't go, like if we just did the same thing everyone does, then it's the same trip everyone's always gonna have. And I don't know, it's fun trying new stuff.
Well, and if you can't find the dead ends and enjoy that,
Right.
then what's the purpose of going out?
This whole mission was a lot of like, we knew it was gonna be trial and error.
Yeah. We're kind of prepared, so it's all good. Like we're not trying to do something sketchy where like we could get in a dangerous spot, so yeah, I mean, yeah, anything could happen, of course.
Oh, we're in a danger spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go off the road here and we're calling a helicopter.
You know you've done okay when your biggest disappointment with the trip is that it didn't last longer. Thank you so much for joining me, and let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. Peace and wheelies, everyone.